Can you give us I've been here for a week and I've watched you put that into practice with the horse, but could you give an example to help people at home to, you might be thinking, how do you direct a horse's thoughts?
Well, to me, the starting point is to get their mind with you, and that doesn't have a lot of meaning to some folks, but if you have a horse in the pen or online, either one, if their mind, if they're still thinking how good it would be to get back with their friends, they're tugging on the end of the line or running the fence or trying to get away from you somehow, and if they've had any bad experience or had no experience with a human or had any bad experiences with a human, then they want away from you, and they know how good it is out there where they spend most of their life, and so they're not here mentally present to even hear what you're trying to do. And so if you can do something to get their mind here, to get them interested in what's taking place here, and that is a mystery to some people when you say get them interested here, and it's sometimes it's not a nice thing to talk about necessarily, but sometimes it's necessary to put some worry in it, to do something that's worrisome enough here that the horse can't be thinking anywhere but here. But then you've got to get the worry out of it and get the horse confident with what you're doing, so he isn't thinking about being somewhere else. But people often are trying to get the horse okay, calm, quiet, relaxed, and in that process they have a very dull, unresponsive horse.
Oh, so they're kind of trying to suppress the situation.
But the other end of that is they do something that worries the horse, and then they leave him in a worried state, and then you have a reactive horse. And somewhere in between there's a spot where the horse is mentally attentive to what's taking place here. And when you get a horse's mind right here where his body is, I want to say captured, because that's how he feels at the start, is he captured on the end of a line or in a pen. You get his mind right there where his body's captured, the peace is restored at a very high level.
Yeah, I've seen that this week, the change. You see, you start to work with a horse and they change how they feel, and then that in turn changes how their body looks. It changes everything, the whole picture, when you attend to their mind, which seems to then attend to their emotions, which then changes even their balance.
It starts with an understanding. And it's our understanding, and I say ours so people might relate themselves, but it's our understanding that runs our emotions. Then our emotions affect our activity. But people often think that our emotions run our thinking somehow, but it's not. It's the thought that runs the emotions that runs the behavior. And so people are always after a horse because they want a different behavior. And you can elicit a different behavior, but the horse doesn't feel any different.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel any better. He might. Never, but he might. But a lot of times people are trying to get a different behavior. And they haven't cleared up the understanding. So it just comes back, comes back, comes back.
So when people say, oh, he hasn't remembered that, it's not that he hasn't remembered. He just didn't have.
It was never really as clear as it should be in the first place. And yes, he did a lot of things, especially if a horse had a bad experience. It'll be like starting over. You get a nice change. You work there and get things look a lot better. And the next time you start on it, they'll revert back to that thing. But then it'll come through so much quicker. By the third or fourth time, it's coming through really soon. You get that change. And one day, you wouldn't even see that. Now, it might rear its head months, years later. The right stimulus come in there. You can't erase an experience. For us or a horse, either one, you can't erase the experience. You try to override it with a new understanding, but that can can be pretty hard, because if a horse has proved to him how bad it is, how much proof does it take to override what's already been proved? And so you'll repeat it a lot of times, sometimes trying to help them feel better about it, and they'll want to revert back to that. And one of my favorite little sayings is how, so they're started, so they go. And a lot of people think that just, when you say started, they think about starting their saddle. But it's how they're started on their exposure to humans, how they're started on their leading, how they're started on picking a foot up, how they're started on anything. Those initial experiences affect way down the line. And the more traumatic it is, the stronger a horse hangs on to.